So hey, my creative hustler, Star Oracle, on a Saturday. Bright and sunny out, not sure you're part of the world, hope you're well. Today's topic, it's actually an email I'm going to answer, and it's about Mars-Pluto synastry, or Mars opposition Pluto natal, where I normally I'll usually answer email if someone has a question for me, but I thought this might be a good video. I kind of poked around the tubes and didn't see anything that was prevalent to this sort of conversation. I just thought it was interesting because this couple, this guy and this gal, have Mars opposition Pluto both natally in their own charts, and the overlay on synastry has I guess caused them to rethink what's going on in the relationship. So I had to print this out because there's when you get old, you guys, you start doing this, right, with your glasses on and trying to read a phone that close. I'm just not going to bother. So the email reads, "Hi Darcy, can you talk about Mars-Pluto synastry, as my boyfriend and I both have this natally in our own chart, and we have found with our upbringings with Mars opposition Pluto, it's been a rough road. But now that we have it overlay in synastry, there's parts of our relationship that have gotten, what did she say, out of hand." So we'll start with the natal position. So anytime you see Mars opposition Pluto, it's rough. With the couple of clients I do have that I do wellness coaching with, it's of course a clear indicator of usually like tyrannical dad, depending on the house, of course. I have seen clients actually take this aspect, natal, and turn it around for their own use. You know, they kind of get past the whole family dynamics and struggling with those two archetypes to kind of overcome it. Because as you guys know, especially with this, I'll include the seventh and eighth house. There's much to overcome with people. But I'm just going to use the word people. I don't want to, even though the seventh house is like hidden enemies and all that stuff, let's just say people. Seventh house is clearly an indicator of personal relationships. The eighth house is the receiver, or the receiving of kind of the underneath stuff, the kind of psychological junk that comes along with those relationships or the people So anyway, so yeah, Mars opposition Pluto, it can be very rough going. I believe in her case, in this email, she kind of had the alcoholic dad, and it's the burden, right? It's the Mars. Even though both of them are a powerhouse, when they're in opposition, it's a huge tug of war. So with that natal aspect, I think it's just it takes a good swift kick in the ass. It takes a lot of life lessons, probably through your 20s and maybe early 30s, to kind of overcome that. So in regards to her, what is her name? Janice. In regards, Janice, to the synastry that you and your boyfriend now have, it's tough going, but you know what? It can be a complete blessing. I would imagine in synastry, the healthy aspect, or the healthy part of the relationship, would lend flavor to high independence and healthy competition. And yes, that can be obtained in relationships if you are aware enough. Both parties are aware enough. Only because of the eighth house, we attract complete codependence, like gag, right? So it can be healthy competition. Just make sure to always, right, keep your lives very independent and respect that sort of space from each other, because I believe the more you're willing to kind of help someone grow in their own joy, and if they're very aware of kind of growth patterns and growing too with you, Mars-Pluto Synastry right, that conjunction can be really healthy, and it lends awesome flavor too in regards to sexual response or sexual compatibility. It can be a little fun and adventurous. So the unhealthy part of that overlay, the Mars, because both of you guys, it sits right on top of each other. It's like within 2 degrees. It can get vicious. It can get vicious quick. So if you guys are in a place right now, I would suggest just take a step back and both of you rewrite, even if you're not writers. How does it look now? How do you want it to look? You guys probably had a great start, so I'm not asking you to go back to the past, because sometimes that's not necessarily what it's about, but it's unraveling the sort of patterns that you, as a person who has that natally, needs to once again undo, because you're over here, you're independent, your guy's over there, he's independent, and you come to maybe an impasse in your relationship where it's like, okay, well, I need more of this. Well, I need more of this. So it's a matter of like going to your corners and reestablishing that healthy sort of competition again, and not getting so caught up in, believe it or not, very simple power struggles. It sounds as if both you guys are kind of well aware and very well informed of what you came up with, and why you both have this in Synastry. So in my humble opinion, I think it's beautiful if you can just kind of keep it in check, and from time to time, because it's a very, 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 very saucy, heated aspect for Synastry. So I'm going to keep this short. I hope that was at least able to answer. So if you guys could just take some time to truly, how do you want it to look? And maybe it's just a 2-week goal. Maybe it's a month goal. But it sounds as if you maybe had a good start and just a little bump in the road. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, take care and have a fantastic weekend. Bye.